Okay, so I'm planning to cycle to Australia this summer, and I just sat down to really start my planning process. And in this video, I want to take you through that, and I'm just gonna jump between scenes whenever I continue the process. Because like overall, I think that, you could just jump in and like start doing stuff, but because of my background of having worked as a strategy consultant, I'm hoping that I'm going to take a somewhat structured approach. But anyway, I just want to show you how I do it, and then you can look at that and be like, yeah, I might want to use that or not. Or if you're just interested in the process, also cool. So yeah, let me show you how I'm now starting out the entire process. So yeah, the first thing that I'm doing right now is that I'm sitting down and creating a structure within which I will then even start planning. And this is something you typically do in consulting, that you actually create a framework within which you can then think. So just to give you some examples, the first thing I did is structure it, my fit planning into like before, during, and after the ride. So like, what do I have to do before I even get going, such as buy a bike, take care of insurance, and maybe do a health checkup to make sure there's nothing like going on, that I don't have any deficiencies, but also buy all the gear that I need. And then when I think of during, I'm like, okay, that's things like per country, where do I sleep? Do I need to create any contacts in the country? Do I need a visa when I get there? That would probably be before, but you get the idea. And then for after, I mean, thinking a bit big here, but I might want to write a book about the experience. So if I want to do that afterwards, that would be publish a book after, but that then links back to the before, where I would now have to before talk to publishers if I want to publish through a publisher. If anybody even wants to take my book, that's a different question. But yeah, and then within that, you can like create subcategories. But I find it annoying, but like honestly, I find it annoying but helpful to create this like framework, because it does ensure that you think more exhaustively. If you're interested in how it works, check out Crafting Cases Misi framework. Yeah, but it's annoying because it like forces you into a structure, but ultimately I feel that you end up with a better result. All right, so first draft is done after an hour. I have 2 pages of before, 1 page of during, and then 1 page for after. Yeah, it's like before, it's like, as I said, insurance, bike, gear, which is like an entire page of like sub-bullets, like clothing, sleeping gear, hygiene, but then also like general health, vaccinations, etc., sponsorships, collaborations, route planning, financing, visa applications, risk management, writing a testament in case I die, and like philosophical objectives and like reading, because that's a big part of the journey for me as well. And then we are during sleeping locations, internet, if I get social media support from home, emotional reset visits where I fly people in, obviously the bike, I have to manage the bike during the trip. And then for after, it's maybe a book, maybe documentary, and I'd love to, afterwards, like do some talks about the trip, etc. And I want to think about that up front so that I can manage it smartly, so that that actually happens. It doesn't just vanish into nothingness. Right, new day, new task. Today I'm looking at the first operational things, which are which vaccinations do I need, because that has a long like lead time. That's what I'm thinking about, like what do I need to be doing as soon as possible to make me be able to go as soon as possible to start the journey. And then the second thing is, so far I've been riding with an endurance road bike, my Trek Domain, and I love it, but it's not made for shit like this. Like even in Italy I had 2 spokes pop and didn't really feel stable or sturdy enough, which is fine because it's not its purpose. So I'm doing a list for my bike. What are the things that I like? What things would I like to see on top? And also what are things that I don't like or don't want on my new bike? And then based on that, I can search. And I also have a like guy that does custom frames out of titanium. And then we'll see whether I'll just buy a pre-made bike or whether I'll go through him. I just did the first draft of the countries I want to cycle through. And if the plan stays the same, it's like 20 new countries, most of which I haven't visited yet. Starting in Austria, pretty unexciting. And then we get to Turkey, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Pakistan, India, and then Southeast Asia. until we land in Australia, which would be quite fucking sick if you ask me. I'm feeling like as I'm doing this, I'm like once again feeling this hesitancy to document it all, because then like that takes up how you think about it, like which countries do I cycle through. So we'll see if I actually take you along on the trip, or if I just do it for myself and run out of money. Right, so I'm continuing the search for the perfect bike for me. And I just did a pros cons list. Blend that in right now, so you can pause. And now what I'm doing is for the self-build, enlisting all the parts that I would need to buy, like just the major components like frame, like gear, like I don't know what you call that, group set I think. So like Shimano, SRAM, whatever. Tires, wheels, etc. And I just want to see like what would the ballpark be of how much I'd have to spend to have like an actual comparison to how much Terrabikes, which is the custom bike manufacturer that I go through, would charge me, so I can make an educated decision what the real difference is. Let's dig into that, and then I'll let you know the results in the next slide. Okay, so I just finished the research, and the basic specs for high quality steel frame bike with my requirements is €5,805. With a titanium frame, throwing an assumption out there, it would be €7,305. What does that mean? That means I'm not saving a lot of money versus building with Terrabikes, aka a custom titanium bike, not even factoring in the opportunity cost of my time, which is nothing, And I would have to research, build it all together, probably fuck up a few times. So, strong inclination, contact Terrabikes today and get the build process started. But I'll let it sink in over breakfast with my mom. Later that night, I then met up with my friend Killian, who's super mechanically savvy. He's already built multiple bikes himself and regularly makes alterations to his own. And the objective was twofold. A, to validate whether my assumptions concerning pricing, if I were to build the bike myself, were actually valid. And second, I really wanted his opinion on some choices of the bike, such as group set, mechanical, electrical shifting, etc. And it was super valuable. So I can just recommend, if you have anybody that knows bikes, such as Killian or my other friend Ed, ask them. You're not going to do as good of a job yourself when you research, even with AI. Yeah. What's up? It's December 2nd and January 2nd, 2026, New Year. And I just spent quite some time researching the necessary vaccinations that I need for my trip. And I just want to talk you through it real quick because I think it might be quite interesting for anyone planning something similar. So I got all my information from the DIKO in Germany, which is the Ständige Impfkommission. So basically they're a body that is responsible for permanently giving advice on immunizations, both within Germany, like just general stuff, but also specifically for travel. So they have, like for every country, they have a list of vaccinations that you should do, depending on your risk profile. I'm high risk in everything because I'm like out in nature, I'm there for a long time, etc. So basically, I'm gonna need a lot of vaccinations. And I bet that whatever country you're based in, there should be something similar. I'm sure the UK has a very good one in English as well. But so yeah, that's where I got my info from. And now let's look at what I actually need, which is a whole lot. So as you can see here, there's a total of, I think, 12 vaccinations that I need. Most important one, I think, being rabies, German Tollwut, because that one's lethal. But I'm going to get probably all the other ones as well. This one, for example, it's for ticks. And then I don't even know many of the others, but I am going to be crossing through so many countries, especially ones like Pakistan, India, etc., where some health standards might not be as good, especially during the monsoon season and stuff, that I want to be on the safe side, and never had problems with vaccinations, and I'm really high risk profile. So yeah, better be safe than sorry. And I'm just going to show you how it looks, like the recommendations, just so you've seen it once. Here, for example, for Afghanistan, you see that I'm gonna need to get a vaccination when I get out of the country because they have poliomyelitis. So yeah, but to get in, they recommend Hep B, influenza, It's just the flu and rabies. And then they also indicate for whom, and obviously you have like the basic vaccinations that I need anyway. Yeah, that's something might not be as visible when you see someone travel the world, but all this planning goes into as well. On to the next one. Morning, friends. So today is an exciting day for two reasons. First off, I got my appointment with the tropical doctor to check out the vaccinations I actually need. I have a list, but we'll see which ones I actually need. And second, we're going to Berlin to test ride a few new bike options. First appointment of the day. Tropical doctor. Let's go. Ich habe auch einen Termin zur Durchsprache von möglichen Impfungen. So first of all, I would like to say that was probably one of the top 2 doctors that I've ever been to. So nice, such a great practice. And I beat the 10. I'm gonna get 16 vaccinations. Okay, let's go. Pretty much everything. I'll blend in a screenshot here. It's pretty expensive, so I hope my insurance covers it. But the doctor was like so nice. She's been watching some other like travel cyclists or like, yeah, bike cyclists. How do you call it? Travel influencers that ride their bike. And so she was like, she understood the situation. She was like, yeah, we're gonna do everything. And we also got everything on track for Thailand now, which is nice. I already got my free shots right now. And I'm seeing her again next week. And then she said we're probably gonna have a few more appointments. So yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna be safe. I need to look into malaria because that's also a problem, especially in Pakistan. And yeah, that's that. But that was super nice. Such a great experience.